Pregame.com.
Georgia at Tennessee, Saturday, college football. I'm your host, Marco D'Angelo. I'm joined with Bryan Leonard. We're going to break this game down. Bryan, this is a game, Georgia, Tennessee, two teams that, I'm still trying to figure out their identity. Georgia's a team that started the season 0-2, but they had a couple tough games, and now they've got things going again. Are they for real, or is it counterfeit of who they've been playing? What do you think about this game?
When I was down at the Gold Nugget before the season started, I bet a lot of Georgia games. I thought there was some value on Georgia. They came out of the gate against Boise and South Carolina. The Boise game, even though I liked Georgia on the season, I had Boise in that game, and it was clear that Boise was the better team. I think it's obviously clear at this point. South Carolina, there's a lot of people that like South Carolina coming into the season. I didn't care for the quarterback situation. But that was a game that went back and forth, back and forth. And it was one of those games, it's sort of like the NBA, where whoever has the ball last is going to win the game.
They literally did in that one.
And it did. But since that point, Georgia's played some really good football. In fact, the last three games, they've only given up one defensive touchdown. And if you take a look at their schedule, 4 of their 5 games came against either top 10 teams or SEC teams. So they played a very tough schedule. And this is the role that Georgia exceeds in. This is on the road under Mark Richt. They're now 25-18 against the spread, and that includes last year where they did not play well at all on the road. It's a situation. I made Georgia a 6.5-point favorite in this game, and I played it at Pick'em. It's gone up to 2. Somebody hit it yesterday. I think a group hit it. It went across the board, and I think that's the right side. And I look at this, and Tennessee hasn't had a winning home spread record since 2007. They've lost 5 straight games as a home dog. And I've got another video I'm cutting with VR. It's another SEC game, and I've had a lot of success in the SEC because SEC home fields are overvalued. And the reason being, these are your top athletes, and they go on the road. They know how to win on the road. It's a whole different story when you're looking at the Sun Belt, the MAC, the Conference USA, when you're looking at the teams that are very good. It's like we're in the middle of the baseball playoffs. These road teams are starting to play pretty well in the baseball playoffs because they're very good teams. They know how to win on the road. And so your SEC home field has less value. I like Georgia in this game.
The only baseball teams except the Milwaukee Brewers. I've never seen the team home and away as much as they have been.
That's correct.
But my thing on this game, and this is not a game that I've got a strong opinion on, but my question mark is, and I'll get more out of this game, which will tell me for the rest of the season. I'm not sold on the 3 games that Georgia's got their winning streak back on. Coastal Carolina, forget about that. They beat both of the Mississippi and Mississippi State, which to me, neither team has a good defense. I'm not impressed with either one of those defenses. So I think Georgia looks a little bit better than maybe they really are, or, we just haven't seen it yet, and maybe they are that good. But I'm looking more at who they've played than what Georgia's actually done. Tennessee, on the other hand, they've really only played one team. I'll admit that. That was Florida. They didn't embarrass themselves on the road. They only missed by 0.5 point to the spread. They were getting 9.5. They lost by 10. They were really in that game the whole way. And so to me, I'm more impressed with the Tennessee quarterback. I just don't think Georgia will be able to stop. I look back to the Carolina game, South Carolina game, and the way they went up and down the field in that game, can they stop Tennessee? That's my concern here.
That's one of the reasons why I don't watch one single game. Because if you look at that, you'll say, well, this Georgia defense is terrible. But if you look at all their other games, they've played pretty well. You go back, even the first game against Boise. Boise's put up points on everybody they played.
Absolutely.
They've got a guy who's going to be starting in the NFL, a quarterback. They've got a lot of talent. I don't see that talent with Tennessee. And on your point of view, they did play Cincinnati. And Cincinnati's a pretty good team, although the Bearcats are easy to handicap. When they play a bad team, they're going to blow them out. When they play a good team, they just don't step up. So the win over Cincinnati was more impressive than what I thought, even though I'm not a big Cincinnati fan on the road. But I just think when I look at the two programs right now, Tennessee's on the uptick. Last year down at the Gold Nugget, I bet against Tennessee every game. Everybody bet against Tennessee every game, and we got paid off pretty well on that. But now Dooley's starting to do a pretty good job over there. They're getting better. I just don't think they're in the Georgia class yet. And to be honest with you, with the line right now, Georgia 2 on a neutral, it's probably a 4 or 5.
Right.
So they're still not in the Georgia class. And like I said, this is Georgia's spot. They're very good on the road.
Well, we're going to go ahead and let you have the prediction here. You're saying to take Georgia on Saturday. You've got a big game on Saturday. I want you to tell the people about it, and after you tell them what you've got, I'm going to jump in and say something about you. Go ahead.
All right. Well, if you didn't watch the Meet the Handicapper segment, you don't know that I graduated from Akron University. I followed the MAC for years. Made a lot of press back before the MAC went to the main board when they were on the added board. Because to be honest with you, the Billy Walters aren't going to play the teams on the added board because they couldn't get enough money on them. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have to compete with the Billy Walters of the world. And I had a lot of success with the MAC. And you're from Pittsburgh. I'm from Cleveland. You follow the teams in your area. You're very good on the Pittsburgh teams. I'm very good on the Cleveland teams in that area. And the MAC is that area. And I've always had a lot of success. And I do have my MAC game of the year going this week. And I'm really high on this game. And it's a situation where I've had a lot of success in the MAC in the past. For those of you who haven't followed me in the past, that's really what I'm known for. Even though I've done very well in some of the other conferences, once you get labeled the MAC guy, and to be honest with you, there's a lot of competitors out here in Vegas, when they have a player on the MAC, they'll call me up to get my opinion on it. So, but anyway, we've got our MAC game of the year going this week, and I really like this game.
Check that out. You know, Bryan Leonard, check his homepage, go to pregamepros.com. You'll see the play for Saturday, and you can click on Bryan Leonard, go right to his homepage and check it out. And that is something that I got to say, that's something that's overlooked in handicapping. I mean, you're not a one-trick pony. I don't want anybody to think that, you know, you're just a MAC guy or I'm just a Pittsburgh guy. But we just take it to another level in that area just because we know it like the back of our hands. And it's something, because you still follow. I mean, you've been in Vegas a lot longer than I have. Pittsburgh's still my home. I live in Vegas right now, but to me, Pittsburgh's still always going to be home. And I follow my teams. Follow the beat writers, all the sports talk shows, back there, and read all the blogs from Pittsburgh, because it's something that definitely interests me as a fan and as a bettor. And whenever you're zeroed in on something like that, you see things that other people don't see. And especially a conference like the MAC, it's a afterthought to most people.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even care about the MAC, and they don't care about Conference USA or the WAC or whatever. But when you were handicapping back when you were in Pittsburgh, I was handicapping when I was back in Cleveland. You have the ability to talk to the sports writers, talk to the press agents, do all these things with all these local papers. You can get on the phone and call up the director of the sports department at this school and say, hey, this is so-and-so. I wrote whatever articles, and what's the status of so-and-so? Yeah. And you're able to get that information. And there's many times that there are people, one of our handicappers here, Stephen Nover. Yeah. He's been with UNLV and for years wrote for the RJ local papers. Yeah. He's still got those connections. So when Stephen puts out a play on UNLV or Nevada, you got to give a special notice.
Absolutely. Well, good luck with your game on Saturday. Pleasure doing a video with you. And I haven't had a chance formally, but I want to do it on camera. I want to thank you for inviting myself and VR, letting us become part of the Fang Tuesday group. And I'm enjoying it, and it's just 5 hours of knowledge. You can't put a price tag on it.
Yeah, it's a little bit long sometimes, but the guys are really good guys, and it's impossible for one person to know everything. So when you go around the group like that, and you've got 15 people talking about everybody. We talked about me with the MAC, you with Pittsburgh. There's guys we got one guy, Northwestern graduate. He follows the Big Ten. Yeah. And we got everybody's got their little niches, and to get enough people around the group like that, that's a huge benefit.
It's a wealth of knowledge. I appreciate. Thanks for inviting us. That's it for this one. Official free play from Bryan. Take Georgia. I'm on the fence, leaning slightly to Tennessee, but I'm going to pass this game. We'll be back. Actually, Bryan's going to be back with Vegas Runner doing some videos today, so be sure to check all those out. And thanks for watching. I'm Marco D'Angelo. He's Bryan Leonard. We'll be back next week.